Craig's stuff. Craig's stuff. Craig's got a lot of stuff. Yeah. Craig's stuff. Craig's stuff. Craig's got a lot of stuff. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Craig's Stuff. My name is Craig, and this is some of my stuff. Today we're taking a look at the fairly new P-Bandai exclusive Final Form Cooler action figure from SH Figuarts. Very excited for this figure. I've had him sitting now within my to open pile for a little while. I haven't gotten a chance to do it. I tend to like to wait just with the imports because they take there's so much accessories and so much more. I just like to take my time with them. So sometimes I put them off a little bit and I'll open like the Marvel Legends or something that I have sitting around much quicker because I just open them, I pose them real quick and in the bag and goodbye. And so these tend to be these are ones that I'm gonna I have to make a spot on the shelf for whatever. So yeah, he has been sitting, but I figured now is the time to do the review. So he's awesome. This is awesome. It's funny. This is the first time I'm even seeing it because he's been in the brown shipper box since I got it in the mail, and now it's been a couple months I think since it came. So here is the packaging. Very, very cool. Pretty much standard SH Figuarts packaging with a nice purple pinky color, and he's of course nicely displayed in the box there as well. Anyway, I think without further ado, it's time that we pop this sucker open. Alrighty, so here is our figure, but before we talk about him, we got to talk about the accessories that he comes with, and we get a solid assortment here. First off, we get the alternate face, which is fine. It's Cooler unmasked, which let's be honest, if you're gonna have Final Form Cooler, you're gonna have him with the mask on. So it's great that they added it. It adds a little bit more emotion to the character, where obviously you're really not going to get any emotion from that, which is fine, and that's how he's going to be displayed on my shelf, is with this really cool mask, which is awesome. But for photos and for I love getting alternate parts. This is cool, so great to have, obviously. Then you get another 3 sets of hands, so that's another 6 hands in total. And then the 2 fists, so you're getting 8 total hands. Got some blasting hands, some pointing hands, and then some I guess other either blasting, or you could probably use these as grabbing hands if you wanted. Then you got alternate feet, so he has these I guess these are gripping feet, because if you know Dragon Ball, they sometimes those guys still with the Frieza or whatever will grab somebody with his feet, or you just have his toes curled for whatever reason. Gives you a little bit more options with the feet. Then of course you get his tail, which is very long, bit softer feel to the plastic as well, and this is nice. I kind of just wish they would go with the wired tail route with these figures, because you can't do that much. Because obviously they did that with the Goliath with NECA, so you can get a very large tail if you wanted to. And because this you really can only just it's jointed here, so you're gonna be able to go up and down, and it spins as well as the same thing at this joint. It's gonna go forward, back, and also it spins there too. So you can definitely get some posing with a tail. And it's also good because it'll probably hold up cooler. Just gives him that tripod effect to keep him standing. So looks good. I do like the detail on there too, with the little crunches and the folds in the tail. So very cool. Now let's take a more in-depth look at the figure. Alrighty, so here is Cooler, and he looks, for lack of a better word, cool. He's awesome. It's a super cool looking figure. I think the design is incredible. Definitely one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z designs. Super glad that we got him. I'm really glad that they're starting to dive into the non, I guess, canon characters, because obviously Cooler is no longer canon, although you never know what they might do. Although I guess he was really never canon. But you never know. They might bring him into Super and finally make him canon, which would be awesome, especially considering Frieza's become more important as of late. It would be neat. But it's a gorgeous sculpt. I think they did a great job. There's so much detail. I kind of wish maybe they did a little bit of a wash over the white here just to bring out all those scuffs on his, I guess, armor, you can call it, on around him. There's all those little nicks on him. Really, really cool. But I do like how it has like a bit of shading in certain areas. You know, you actually got some shading on this figure. I know they usually do shading, but I feel like they've been cheaping out recently, so haven't gotten as much shading. But I really do like the dark shading on his thighs and throughout the rest of the figure. I love the super glossiness of the I don't know what to call this, like the headpiece and his wrist guards. It looks really, really cool. I love how it's like that super shiny reflective surface. It just with the light hitting it, just looks really, really cool. So it's really, really nice. The head sculpt, fantastic. Face looks good. Eyes look good. Again, it's very, reminds me a lot of a Gundam, actually, his mask. Those lines on there are all painted really, really clean. Very, very nice. Now, of course, if you want to put the tail on, obviously, it's just as easy as plugging it into the hole there. And it plugs in easily like that. No problems there. Really, really simple, and it looks super cool once it's on there, and get a lot of articulation, like I said before, from the tail. So, very, very cool. For sake of talking about articulation, I'm going to take the tail off, though. Oh, God. So now let's talk about his articulation, then. So, starting at the head, he does move down. He looks down actually quite a bit. That's really nice. He does look up as well, although definitely not as much. And you do get, of course, that neck and head movement. Little squeaky there, so that's always a little scary. And, of course, his head does go all the way around, and it does tilt side to side. You can move the shoulder guards here. So if you move the shoulder guards, it allows for a little bit more head tilt. If they're up, obviously, they're totally in the way. But you can move them out of the way, and they go in and out like that, which is great. His arms do go up well past 90 degrees, which is fantastic. They go down, they go in, they go out with that really, really nice butterfly joint there. Which is actually, when it's open, it kind of looks a little weird, I'll be honest. Just because of the way it's cut there. So you may not want to go out as far with the butterfly joint because you leave that really large gap right in the chest. But, certain angles, you're not going to notice it at all. I'm always willing to sacrifice a little bit of, sculpt for articulation. So, love that. And his arms, of course, do go all the way around. He has the nice upper bicep cut. He has double jointed elbows, which are not bad for a beefy guy. His hands, of course, go all the way around. They go in, they go out, and every which direction. Then at the upper chest, he spins actually quite nicely at the upper chest section. Looks like it goes all the way around, actually, all the way around. It goes forward, it goes back. Then if you have the lower waist section, he also spins at the lower waist as well. And the lower waist goes forward and it goes back. So you get a beautiful crunch forward and really, really crunched back, which is fantastic. Super good at the waist. I love the waist articulation on this figure. And it's also, like, especially in the upper section, it's really, really hidden by just the armor. So it doesn't look weird. Then at the legs, they kick forward all the way. You get a nice split. Unfortunately, they don't really go back too much just because of the butt. So you can, they will go backwards, obviously, if you move it out of the way. But the butt does hinder. Now, because he has the tail, I'm not gonna knock them for not having a soft butt because that tail needs to be there. So kind of really not much you can do. He has a great upper thigh cut. He has double jointed knees, which are fantastic. Then at the feet, he spins, he goes forward, he goes backwards, and there is ankle pivot there as well. Cooler stands just about 8 inches to the top of his head spike. Here is a quick comparison to the Dragon Stars cooler, which obviously is the one on the right, and you can see how significantly different these two are. Honestly, the proportions on this one are much, much better. Not just the height, obviously he's taller, just the proportions look a lot better. Amongst a million other things. Obviously, the sculpt is better and the articulation is better. Overall, it's a much, much better figure. But in reality, this one is not a bad figure at all. It's definitely a really good stand-in, and it's not that much shorter than this one, so I think it's definitely still a good stand-in to your display if you don't want to spend the money to get a cooler, or just weren't able to get a cooler because now it is not available anymore. And probably crazy expensive on the secondary market. So the Dragon Stars cooler is still a solid option, but I'm definitely happy to replace him in my display with this guy. This one is going to be going up for sale probably because I don't need him anymore, although he's still cool. So here he is next to the McFarlane Toys Geralt from The Witcher. Here he is next to the SH Figuarts Awakening Goku. And here he is next to the Marvel Legends Gibbon. Alrighty, so overall, I love this figure. This is an amazing figure, and I'll be honest, I wish I opened it up in 2021, because it probably would have been on my top 10 figures of the year list, because it is really good. This, honestly, is one of the absolute best SH Figuarts they have made ever. It's just absolutely fabulous. I love it. One of my favorite things about it is because recently SH Figuarts have been getting a little, I don't know, they haven't been great with quality control, and some of the figures have been squeaky and on the joints, and have been like kind of scary that they're gonna break. Especially I had it actually broken a Jiren, and recently I just broke my both of my trunks figures. The little peg on it, and it was horrible disaster. But this is what happens when you open your boxes, you know. It's the risk you take, and it's worth the risk, because then they actually are on your shelf, you enjoy them, and you have, you know, it's worth it. But this figure honestly does not feel like it's going to break at all. None of the joints feel super tight. Everything feels nice and you know, not so loose that it's super loose, but everything feels like it's, you know, solid and was just made well. I don't know what they did differently with this figure, but I think they did a great job, and I hope they just continue doing what they're doing going forward, because this is fabulous. Makes me so excited for like the Dodoria and the Zarbon that are coming out, because if they're as good as this one, then man. Anyway, I guess that's it. If you like this review, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Please check back every Friday at noon for brand new videos. You can check out my Instagram. It's at Craig Stuff. I will see you guys next time. Later.